Hello and welcome. I'm Emma Penny. I'm Managing Director of Feedinfo and AgriMoney, and I'm delighted you've come to join us today in the last of our snapshot talks as part of Euretier Week. We've been doing these all week, and these have been quick snapshot talks of 10 to 15 minutes about various issues in the market. And today I'm delighted that we've been joined by Feedinfo's Senior Analyst, Yoke Wong, who will be talking about what's happening in China and specifically with feed additives. During all of these snapshots, you can email questions to us at events@feedinfo.com and we will reply. So without much further ado, we'll kick off. Now, Yoke, I would like to wish you a very happy Chinese New Year because I know today is the day of Chinese New Year.
Yes, it is the first day of Chinese New Year. Thank you. Happy Chinese New Year to you too, Emma. And this is the year of the ox, and we are definitely feeling the Chinese market is feeling very bullish about amino acid and vitamins market.
Okay, well, yes, I know there have been a lot of price increases, I think, for amino acids in China for the past few months. So can you tell us a bit more about what's been happening?
Yes, Chinese amino acid producers have been raising prices since July last year. And because of the rising corn prices in China, corn is the main raw material for fermentation of amino acid in China. And corn prices in China have been breaking record new highs, in fact. And the corn futures settled in Dalian Commodity Exchange will last at around 2,700 yuan per ton, which is around $430 per ton on 10th of February. And contracts for physical delivery were even above 3,000 yuan in some regions. And corn supply is also tight in China. So many producers are struggling to buy enough volume to meet production requirement. And this push up their production costs for amino acid. And because of the volatility of corn prices, producers are selling limited volume as a price control measure because they just don't know how much more the corn prices will increase.
Okay, I know that when we heard from Mike Verdon yesterday, the editor of AgriMoney, Feedinfo's sister title, he was telling us very much about the market in China for corn and how how it had really sort of set on fire really the last few months. But we've heard a lot as well about the strong demand in China because of the recovering pig herd in the country. So how has that affected the amino acid market?
Yes, the recovering pig herd after African swine fever is a big topic in China. There is very rapid growth in the pig farming industry in China since last year. And this has created strong domestic demand for amino acids in the country. And in addition, the Chinese compound feed manufacturers have also improved the feed formula by reducing the amount of crude protein and increasing the volume of amino acids. And this has led to additional demand in the country. The demand has exceeded expectations for Chinese amino acid producers as well. As a result, amino acid prices in China are higher than in Europe and the US. Lysine, threonine, tryptophan, FOB, China prices are all at multi-year highs. Traditionally, prices in Europe are higher than in China, but from Q4 onwards, it is the reverse.
Okay, so what does that mean? Are producers actually wanting to sell outside China? Can you explain a bit more about that?
Yes, I mean, you pointed out very well that it is a big question for the Chinese producers because now there's very little incentive for them to sell abroad. And a lot of them have said that other than the key accounts, they would prefer to sell in the domestic market where they get higher prices and they don't have problems with the shipping costs. And as everybody knows, the rising shipping cost has also been a problem since Q4 last year as well.
Okay, yes, and I understand the pig industry in China has really changed, and when it's come back from recovering from ASF, we've gone from a lot of backyard pig keepers where the pigs have eaten a lot of the household scraps to actually a much more professional pig industry with much bigger units which are feeding compound feed, and obviously that's I guess also driving demand too. That structural change in how the industry runs.
Yes, I think the pig farming industry has certainly gotten a lot more professional in China.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've talked a bit about amino acids and how that market's really, been moving been very strong. Are the vitamins markets in China as strong as that for amino acids?
Vitamin demand is generally strong in China too, but only some vitamin prices are rising. Vitamins like decalpin, biotin, vitamin B2 and D3 are oversupplied in the country, so any price increase tend to be limited. The vitamin with the sharpest price increase is vitamin E so far. The FOB China prices increased by 22% from the end of last year to $8.50 to $9 per kilogram in February. Supply for vitamin E is tight in China as the Imante plant, which is the joint venture between DSM and Nenter, will not be in full production until April, May. Consumers in China are worried about further COVID lockdown in the country after Chinese New Year. So many of them have built a bigger inventory before the holiday in case of any disruptions. This has also driven vitamin E prices to 75 to 80 yuan per kilogram, which is around $12 per kilogram, which is again multi-month high. And the same pre-holiday buying happened for all additives as well, which further supported the domestic prices.
Okay, so it sounds like an interesting situation on vitamins too. So I suppose we've been talking a lot about COVID as well. That's been one of the big themes for the last 12 months. But given that most of Europe and the US and of course the UK, where we are at the moment, are in lockdown, can you give us an update on China and how is the country managing the COVID pandemic?
China is the first country to go into lockdown around the same time last year during the first wave of a COVID outbreak. It is also the first one to ease restrictions. Ever since then, the Chinese government has been very quick to respond to any outbreak in the country, even when the number of cases is relatively low. There have been sporadic.
Oh, you okay? I think we appear to have lost your sound. If I could just ask you to come off the stage and come back on again, that should bring your sound back. Or perhaps unmute yourself. Oh, I'm sure everybody is familiar with these problems with doing things in meetings and online over the last 12 months. Yoke, you've come back.
I am back, so we can continue to talk about COVID.
Excellent. Carry on.
Yes, I don't know when you lost me, so I'm going to talk about the outbreaks in China again. So there have been sporadic outbreaks in a few regions in China, particularly in Heilongjiang province, where most of the amino acid productions are based. So Heilongjiang was put on lockdown since 12th of January, and this is likely to continue until after the Chinese New Year. Although productions have not been impacted, the logistics in and out of the province were restricted, and this is delaying amino acid shipments out of China. And some areas in Hebei province are also locked down, which is impacting vitamin B12 prices.
Okay, so lots of interesting things happening then. So, I know obviously a big holiday period in China at the moment. What sort of market developments are you expecting after the holiday?
Yes, that's the million-dollar question. The holiday will end on 18 February, but logistics in China will probably resume only at the end of February. So many amino acid producers are expecting corn prices to continue to stay high. So their production costs are unlikely to fall in the short term. However, given the high volume of pre-holiday buying in China, the domestic market is likely to be quiet after the holiday. There are also concerns about the restart of production in China after the holiday. but the Chinese government has put in a lot of measures to prevent mass COVID outbreaks, including advising Chinese citizens to spend New Year at their places of employment, to cut down the flow of people during the holiday. As we know, every year during Chinese New Year holiday, up to millions, hundreds of millions travel home to spend New Year with their family, but not this year. And buyers outside China are also expecting the market to come down in March and April when all the delayed shipments from China arrive at the final destinations. But anything can happen, and developments in China have caught the industry by surprise over the past 2 years. And the best thing for us to do is to really just watch the situation very closely.
Yes, well, that's great, Yoke, and I know that I think, and all Feedinfo's users are really benefiting from the fact that you're a fluent Mandarin speaker and in touch with people in China every day, and sort of really breaking a lot of news about what's happening in China, including some of the sort of freight issues that we've seen, as well as keeping a close eye on the markets. So thank you for that, and thank you for that update. I think if anybody would like more information on prices on amino acids and vitamins, Feedinfo, that is what our stock trade is, and we cover that in an IOSCO compliant manner every day, really. This is what our senior analysts do. And I know, Yoke, you're also working on an upcoming report with our sister title, AgriMoney, looking at China and trade. And this will be available to AgriMoney and Feedinfo subscribers. So please do get in touch if you'd like access to the sites and these special reports. Again, we are very happy to take questions from anybody. So if you'd like to email them to us, we will get back to you. And the email address is events@feedinfo.com. I'm delighted that so many of you have joined us this morning. I hope you found that interesting. Yoke, thank you so much for your time, and a great roundup of all of the things really that we're seeing in China at the moment. I hope everybody has enjoyed our coverage this week, and please do carry on keeping in touch with Feedinfo, and we will also carry on reporting everything that's happening in the markets. Thank you for joining us.